No, we had a 2-0 the year last year. It's not where you line up; it's where you wind up. This is it's the past now. We got a long way to go. We still have 15 games. Somebody told me we're playing 17 regular season games. We might play 18 or 19 next year. Who knows? But not to be sarcastic, but no, we want to win this game this week and try to stay in the hunt.
This is a Carr Dodgers podcast.
What happens in Vegas?
Carr with time.
What happens in Vegas? First down, touchdown, Super Bowl. Vegas Heat, Cincy Street, greatest two code.
Touchdown.
Carr to Waller, it can't be stopped. Jacobs with the rock. O-line hit the blocks. Offense off the chain. Defense is ready. Raider Nation, one goal, just win Vegas. What happens in Vegas? What happens in Vegas? What up, Raider Nation? You are listening to What Happens in Vegas. I'm your host, Neal Maligno. I appreciate you guys for joining me today, as always. The Raiders are 2-0. We're feeling good. We're feeling real good. This is a great start. Now, obviously, you don't necessarily start, or you don't necessarily finish how you start. You just heard John, Coach Gruden, in the intro talking about, it's not about where you're at right now. It's about how you finish. He's absolutely correct. We've seen these kind of things before where we start off hot and things dramatically slow down to the point of a losing season. So we don't want that, but things do feel a little different this year. One of the things that we came out in the offseason talking about was how the Raiders have a tough schedule out the gate. That was accurate, but the Raiders start 2-0. They beat the Ravens, Monday Night Football. They beat the Steelers. Two tough teams, two good defenses, playmaking quarterbacks. And so the Raiders defense really, held their own. And what we didn't have last year was this defense keeping the offense, not keeping the offense, but like making it so that, whatever the offense does, the points they score, they make it a good enough game. The defense is keeping them in the game now. So they don't have to score 50 points to win. They don't have to score 40 points to win. They can actually score less than 30 points and win like they did against the Steelers. And that's what this defense is doing. So we'll get into all of this. Number one, can we just start with Derek Carr? Can we start with Derek Carr? You're seeing things now, right? Like people are saying just statistically what he's done so far, he's in the MVP race to people. Obviously, I don't think there's any way the NFL would ever give Derek Carr MVP. I just don't think that's the way this will work. There's other quarterbacks who are just more highly favored in the public eye and in the NFL eye. It just is what it is. As Raider fans, we've come to understand that. Even Raider fans have been frustrated with Carr, and I've talked about it in the past, but this is the first time we're seeing Carr, in a system for a few years, the same system with a real solid defense. It's been a while, since we've seen something like this. So we got Carr getting a real opportunity here to do his thing. And I think he's really, really feeling crazy comfortable right now. The adjustments he's making on the fly. And again, I say the defense is right. I say it's, a few years in the system. I'm not even talking about the fact that the offensive line is having tons of issues. We're not talking about the fact that he was missing Josh Jacobs last week. He's still doing it though. He's still, making the plays that need to be made. He's battling through, hard hits and injuries. He's, making plays to all different players. It's not like he's just honing in on one guy, relying on one guy. And if that guy, doesn't make it happen, then it's all over. No, he's spreading the ball everywhere. So it's been a beautiful thing, a beautiful display by Derek Carr. I'm happy, man. I'm happy that I think anyone who's giving Carr shit now at this point, you're just a hater. There's really no other way to go about it. I love seeing the media show love to him as well. Obviously, you've seen Keyshawn Johnson and stuff saying he would rather have him over Russell Wilson and all that kind of stuff. Clearly, that's debatable. He has his reasons. You can have yours on whatever side you prefer. I'm not really going to get into that. I really don't care. It's just good to see him getting that kind of love. And you kind of wonder if the offensive line was not, this makeshift group, and if everyone was healthy, how much better could he get? Could he get much better than this? I don't know, man. I'll take the 2 wins and the excellent quarterback play and the everyone getting the love. Ruggs showed up big. again, this is a guy that, as Raider fans, I know we're impatient, right? As sports fans, especially Raider fans, especially when you have a team who's been losing for a long time, we're impatient. And then, if you're a guy like me and you're playing a lot of fantasy football, DFS, all that kind of stuff, you get impatient with players. Ruggs had one season last year. He was drafted before players that other people felt he shouldn't have been. They still feel that way. They should still feel that way. He's dealt with injuries. He dealt with the COVID era. He's dealt with all this kind of stuff. And yet you slam him coming into the season talking about he's a bust, that the Raiders just can't get a first round draft pick right. If Ruggs can continue to show up and make plays like he did against the Steelers, he will no longer be looked at as a bust. But we have to have consistency. We have to have plays. I want to see him get more involved, like target wise. Like, it doesn't have to be a deep pass. You know what I mean? Like, let him do his thing across the middle and that kind of stuff. We're seeing a little more of that. And it's very obvious that Carr trusts him now. Gruden trusts him, and that's going to be big for Ruggs moving forward. Renfro, man, I know we all love Renfro. Third and Renfro, we all know the deal. Like, again, the Raiders are 2-0. They've been on TV a little bit, playing some big teams. So guys like Hunter Renfro, who as Raider fans, we already knew, what was up. But again, that media, that exposure when the team is winning, Carr's playing lights out, guys like Renfro were getting, extra love. But he's been doing this dirty work. He's always been that since he got here. So to see him still, doing the dirty work, making this offense, just run at a great clip, like getting the first downs, doing the dirty work, taking the hard hits. I mean, he makes it look good. And it's always surprising to people. It's always a shock to people because he's not this big, physical specimen. He's not this guy who is heralded coming out of college. He's not this guy that when you see him with his helmet off, you're like, that dude's a monster. Like, he's the opposite of all of that. So it's cool to see him, get that attention. And, again, man, this offense, like 1 week it's this guy, 1 week it's that guy. This week it's the next, these two guys. Like, it's being proven that this offense is working and the play calling is working. And what they've worked on is coming together. And I preferably, I know we all like to have like this star wide receiver or this, Darren Waller is that for us as far as on this offense in general. But you know how some teams want to have, two really great wide receivers, all this kind of stuff. Like, you don't necessarily feel that way yet. And maybe Ruggs and Edwards could become that. But right now, we don't have that, and it's still working. Like, the Raiders are doing this thing where it's like they're using 3 tight ends. They're throwing to the fullback. They're just doing it differently than everybody else. And I feel like that kind of plays in our favor. Some people look at it as like it's a little outdated. It's a little old school. But if the rest of the league isn't doing it, how much our defense is really thinking about that kind of defense and preparing for that kind of offense and, that kind of stuff. So I think it's a little bit of an advantage because teams are forced to focus on what a majority of the league is doing. And the Raiders are kind of a little unconventional right now for, in comparison to most offenses that you prepare for. So I dig it. No Jacob sucks. It's obvious, right? Like, the offense is a different offense without Josh Jacobs. And I know we signed Kenyon Drake for a bunch of money and they recently added Peyton Barber, but it's obvious how different the offense is when Josh Jacobs isn't there. It's very clear. It doesn't look like he'll be there again this week. I don't believe. I'm just, from everything I'm seeing, and I'm just taking a guess here. Even if I see, game time decision, that kind of stuff, I'm just guessing he's not going to play regardless. I don't think he's out yet officially, like 100% as of this recording, but he may be. So you can't bank on him in fantasy. Can't bank on him for the Raiders. We'll see how, if they can make it work again. But last week they made it work against the Steelers. They just threw the ball a lot more. They got the running backs going out of the backfield. They're still handing the ball off, and it's a little frustrating when you see it because, like, when they don't get no yards, it's frustrating. No huge plays, no extra effort type of Jacobs plays where you get a bunch of big yards on a big play. Makes you feel good. They weren't doing that last week. I know it's a little tough of our defense. We'll see, how they do against the Dolphins without Jacobs. And we'll talk about the Dolphins on the next episode. I actually have a guest coming on, and we'll talk about the Dolphins-Raiders preview, of course, like we did last week with the Steelers. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The defense is on fire. Just let's move away from the offense for a second. The defense is on fire. It's what's making this offense even better than it is. The offense gets this break. They get to come in on high spirits, feeling confident after the defense is shutting offenses down, doing 3 and outs, or making big plays. Like this defense is legit. It's legit. It's very obvious what Gus Bradley and the players they've added, how it's changed this defense. And I know we talked about it. Like this defense got simpler probably. And I'm thinking that's the big difference. The fact that it got simpler, easier to digest, easier to execute. These young guys are flourishing in it, and we got just the right mix of vets. Just the right mix of Gus Bradley's guys to just make it a well-oiled machine. And they're flying. And against the Dolphins, I feel real good. I know we're gonna talk about it next episode. I can't help it. I get a little anxious. I get a little ahead of myself. Just give me a listen, man. Fantasy wise, get that Raiders defense. This is a streaming day for sure coming up. So yeah, I mean, we had to give the coaching, staff props. John Gruden, who people love to bash on, not Raider Nation, but outside of Raider Nation, they love to bash on him. Oh, he's just a TV guy now. Oh, his coaching is past the current era of football. On a short week, early kickoff, John Gruden, Gus Bradley, they had these guys ready. They had them ready. And even, we talked about it also, Mike Mayock, when he was saying to Rich Eisen that his job isn't safe, that, if they don't play well, make it to the playoffs, all this kind of stuff, that, the elephant in the room is his job on the line. And hell yeah, it is, man. But at this point, it's looking pretty safe, right? Like, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because it's only 2 games in and it's easy to like get super excited and like think that, just extrapolate out and assume that, oh, this is going to continue all year. And obviously this thing can get crazy, right? Like it's the NFL. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but why would I not be excited about the Raiders start? Why would Mike Mayock not be excited about the job that he's done working with John and working with Gus and getting the players in that they needed? Why would we not? People always don't like to hear about victory laps, all that kind of stuff. I'll take victory laps all day. I'm not winning anything and not feeling good about it. I'm not going to get delusional, but I'm not going to not feel good. I'm not going to not celebrate it. I'm happy for the Raiders. I'm happy for everybody involved. And for the fans, for us, it's so cool to see. And this time I think as fans, we can all agree that we're more confident. We're more confident 2-0 team as fans even. Like, we really believe it this time. Of course, there's the doubters. Of course, there's the negatives. The glass half empty kind of folks. You are what you are, man. You do what you want. It's up to you. But I'd be excited if I was you guys. I wouldn't take a very negative approach to this. I know it's easy to do, but I wouldn't do it. And so, I mean, just really quick recap on the stats. Like Derek Carr had almost 400 passing yards, two touchdowns last week. Again, no real rushing game to speak of. I mean, Peyton Barber had a little over 30 yards. Like it looked terrible. The running game looked terrible. Josh Jacobs not being there was obvious. 5 receptions across Ruggs, Waller, Renfro, Drake, all had 5 each. Not to mention that the Raiders also got Edwards, Moreau, Snead, Carrier, Ingold. Well, Ingold didn't catch the ball, but all these guys caught passes. All of them. And I mean, Foster Moreau had 34 yards and a touchdown. Edwards had 40 yards. Drake had 46 yards. Renfro, 57. Waller, 65. The Steelers limited him. We did talk on the episode last week about if the Steelers could limit Darren Waller, they could beat the Raiders. Didn't happen because Ruggs went for 113 yards and a touchdown. Big part of this. They were able to use Foster Moreau to score a touchdown. Raiders offense proved that without Waller performing at a ridiculous clip, a ridiculous performance, without that, only 5 receptions, 65 yards, no touchdowns, they still were able to win a game in a convincing fashion. It's important. It's important to understand these things, man. It gives the Raiders confidence. They say, look, we can do this. Darren Waller doesn't have to go off every single game for us to win games. Josh Jacobs doesn't have to be playing for us to win every single game. The offensive line doesn't have to be perfect for us to win every single game. It's important for a team to understand. Trayvon Mullen got an interception. Solomon Thomas had 2 sacks. Guys were flying around. Perriman was getting busy out there. Nate Hobbs. Come on. Can we talk enough about this guy? Can we talk enough about Nate Hobbs? It doesn't look like a lot when you do, when this is what happens when you look at stat sheets, you're like, 4 tackles, 2 assists, no sacks, no interceptions, no. That's the wrong way to look at this. You can't look at football like that. If you watch that game, Nate Hobbs was crushing it. He was making all the open field tackles. He was making plays that we've been waiting for cornerbacks on this team to make forever. Forever. We've been waiting for that forever. And we got it. We got it in Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is a certified baller. Rookie season, and he's balling. That kid is going to continue to improve. He's going to be a great part of this defense for years to come. He's legit. That's a football player right there. That man is for real. He's for real. So overall, again, the defense was flying around, making quick decisions. It looked good. They made things difficult. They were killing Big Ben. I mean, just crushing him. Max Crosby, a hell of a day. Again, stat sheets don't show it, folks. You cannot look at stat sheets and expect to understand the game of football. You have to watch it. Max Crosby was all over him. And Ngakoue made it through the game. Another thing that I was concerned about. Defense was just solid. Offense, solid. Derek Carr, damn near perfect. What a game. If you're a Raider fan and you came out of that game and you weren't excited, man, you better go get something checked on you because there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And we're going to talk about it on the episode. We'll probably record it tomorrow night, maybe release it Thursday night or Friday morning. The preview for the Dolphins game. There's a lot to cover there. There's a lot to cover, and I want to do it so bad this episode, I can't. We have a guest. I want to talk about it. You guys know I like bringing a fan on of the opposing team. So we'll have someone on here to talk with that about. It's just exciting stuff right now for Las Vegas. It's exciting. It's exciting. As a Raider fan, you should be really excited. For fantasy purposes, Henry Ruggs, man, get him on your teams if he's not already. I have him on my team, so I'm a believer already. I didn't need this. I believe this was coming already, but it's great to see it happen. Now we just need consistency out of it. Kenyon Drake also did, I really wish he would have caught a touchdown or something, but he didn't do enough for him to matter in like fantasy purposes necessarily. Less than 50 receiving yards, 5 catches. It wasn't as great. I was hoping for more. I was even hoping for more from him rushing wise. I thought he would be like a little bit of a surprise there, but he wasn't. Unfortunately, I really thought he would. We'll see against the Dolphins. This is where it's one of those exciting things, and we'll talk about it again on the preview episode for the game. But when you're talking about fantasy, you're talking about Kenyon Drake coming back against the Dolphins, his former team. There's gonna be a fire on that man. So he's gonna have a fire lit under him, and he's gonna be looking to prove something. And I have a lot of faith in Kenyon Drake this upcoming week. I really do. I expect Derek Carr to keep doing what he's been doing. And we'll talk about it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize for the slight delay in releasing this episode. I meant to do it a couple days ago, but like I said, I was having some technical issues here with the mic and everything. But we're squared away. We're good. It won't happen again. Well, we can't predict the future, but I'm guessing a high probability that it won't happen again. I promise you. My bad. Sorry. I apologize. Guys, listen, don't forget, follow on Twitter and Instagram at Clock Dodgers. Easier on Twitter, obviously. We chop it up a lot more there. So that's where, if you want to follow the game with me and we talk about it and chop it up, it's the place to be at for me, at Clock Dodgers on Twitter. ClockDodgers. Just as you would expect. Nothing funny. No weird characters. Nothing, you're not looking for nothing. Just Clock Dodgers. Subscribe to the podcast if you're not already subscribed. I appreciate the support as always, man. I can't thank you guys enough. We just started this podcast this season, and we're doing, we got a whole bunch of people here already, man. It's great. I love connecting with you guys. Even just through Twitter, it's been popping. So it's been a lot of fun with you guys. Make sure you hit subscribe though. I don't want you guys to miss any episodes. That's what we're here for. So hit subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. So they hit your, podcast platforms as soon as I release them. Leave a review. If you haven't left a review yet, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I always mention this because some people don't really, think it's that big of a deal. But, for anyone new that's just looking for Raider content, they don't know what happens in Vegas. They don't know what's, is it a good podcast? Is it a bad podcast? Is it not, is it all right? And your guys' reviews let them know that, because they're going to instantly go straight to the reviews. They're going to say, how many 5-star reviews we got? We need more. I need your help. I really need your help. So if you can go ahead and do that, that'd be great. And in the review, have fun with it, man. Like, first of all, let me know if you have a Twitter or anything. If I'm not following yet, hit me on there. I'll follow you back. Again, like I always say, when you follow on Twitter, let me know, hey, I'm listening to the podcast, man. I'll make sure I follow back, because I want to chop it up with you guys, even during the games and stuff. I want to talk to you guys, interact with you guys, have fun with you guys during the game. It's fun. I go crazy on Twitter during the games. So I love chopping it up with Raider fans there. So make sure you follow, subscribe, leave a review. Let's keep growing this bad boy and get more of Raider Nation involved, because we're having a lot of fun. It's a great year, man. It's exciting. You will see, like I said, late night Thursday, for sure Friday, the Dolphins Raiders preview episode. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you as always. Catch you on the next episode Friday morning at the latest. All right, guys, we're out.
This is the Clock Dodgers